The desert breathes in silence. No stars, no moon. Only the shimmer of endless sand. They say this place lies between sleep and time, a realm where dreams wander too far to return. Each grain of sand holds a story once dreamed, now forgotten, a lullaby that never ends. In the distance, footsteps echo, soft, measured, patient. Morpheus walks alone, his cloak trailing the whispers of 1,000 dreams. He is the keeper of slumber, the architect of the night's imagination. But tonight, he searches for something different, something lost. The balance between dreaming and waking has begun to fade. Humanity sleeps deeper, forgetting the way back to morning. The dunes shift like waves of memory, carrying fragments of laughter, love, regret. Voices call to him faint as wind. Find us, before we disappear. The air tastes of stillness, of dreams left unfinished. Morpheus closes his eyes. The desert answers with a sigh. He steps forward into the heart of the endless sleep. This is where stories rest. This is where time forgets to move, and where the dream of the world waits to wake again. The sands whisper beneath a sky with no sun. Each grain hums with the echo of forgotten dreams. Morpheus walks slowly, his steps leaving no trace. The desert shifts around him, alive and listening. Far beyond sight, the horizon melts into silver haze. There is no end here, only circles of memory. He kneels, letting the sand fall through his fingers. It feels warm, almost breathing. Every handful tells a story. A laugh, a tear, a promise lost to time. He hears the whispers again, soft voices, thousands of them calling from beneath the dunes. They speak in fragments, in sighs, in words half remembered. Don't forget me, they say. Don't fade. Morpheus closes his eyes. The desert hums louder. The air trembles with longing. He remembers when the sands were bright, when people dreamed with courage and color. But now, the dreams are thin, pale, fading like smoke in dawn. The world above sleeps too deeply, tangled in comfort, blind to wonder. And every time a dream is abandoned, the desert grows wider, hungrier. Morpheus feels the weight of it, a god of dreams yet powerless against forgetting. A gust of wind sweeps across the dunes, carrying voices that sound like songs. They weave around him, whispering names he once guarded, faces he once shaped in sleep. He listens, knowing he cannot answer them all. But he must try. For in every forgotten dream, a piece of the world's soul drifts away. He walks on. The sand glows faintly beneath his feet like starlight buried deep. Shapes shimmer at the edge of his vision, memories trying to be seen again. A child chasing a kite of fire, a painter watching colors fade, a lover waiting in endless dusk. All of them caught between waking and oblivion, all of them lost to the whispering sands. Morpheus reaches a dune, taller than the rest. At its peak, Loire, wind falls silent. Before him stretches infinity, a sea of gold that never rests. He breathes in, tasting echoes of stories never told. Somewhere in this vastness lies the first forgotten dream, the seed of the desert's curse. He senses it, faint but pulsing, like a heartbeat beneath the earth. The sands stir again, swirling into forms that vanish as soon as they appear. They murmur, "Find her, before we fade." Morpheus opens his eyes to the horizon. A faint shimmer moves, a shadow that shouldn't exist. He knows the journey has begun. The whispering sands are speaking, and he must listen before the last dream is swallowed by silence. The wind slows, the air thickens. Something moves ahead, faint, fluid, unreal. Morpheus pauses. The horizon bends like glass under heat. A mirage, perhaps, or a memory. From the shimmer emerges a figure, a woman walking across the dunes, eyes closed, barefoot, still dreaming. Her steps are light, but her shadow stretches long, trailing through the sand like spilled ink. She hums a tune, fragile, wordless, familiar. The desert listens. The sands answer in low murmurs. Morpheus watches her, curious yet cautious. Few can wander here without being lost. He follows at a distance, silent as the wind. Each note of her song trembles with longing. It is not a lullaby. It is a memory trying to wake. He feels the pulse of her dream. It flickers weakly, like a candle in endless dusk. Her presence bends the desert around her. The dunes shift to make way. Even the whispers grow still. Who is she, he wonders. No mortal should walk the desert of endless sleep. Yet she moves as if born of it, not lost, but searching. Her hair glows faintly in the dim light, strands catching fragments of forgotten dreams. He steps closer. The wind carries her voice now, soft and trembling. I'm still here, she whispers, but no one remembers my name. Morpheus feels the ache in her words. Names are anchors. Without one, a dream drifts forever. He calls out, voice deep as thunder under sand. Dreamer, what do you seek? She does not turn. She only pauses, her song faltering for a breath. Then, quietly, she answers, to wake. But I've forgotten how. Her tone is calm, resigned, like someone who has sung this truth for centuries. Morpheus draws closer. The air hums between them, the meeting of two dream-bound souls. He senses her essence woven from memory and moonlight. She was once real, a mortal who dreamed too deeply, loved too fiercely, and never found her way back. The desert claimed her, as it does all who lose the path between dreaming and dawn. Her eyelids flutter. Behind them, storms of light swirl, fragments of 1,000 unfinished dreams. Morpheus reaches out a hand. The sand trembles beneath their feet. Come with me, he says softly. There is still a way to wake. But she shakes her head. The way is gone. I walked it once, and forgot where it led. Her words hang heavy in the air, shimmering like heat. Then, slowly, she fades, her body dissolving into a trail of golden dust. Only her voice remains, echoing through the silence. Find the city beneath the sand, she whispers. There, the dream still breathes. The dunes sigh. The mirage shatters. Morpheus stands alone once more, yet the echo of her song lingers, threading through the desert wind. He looks toward the horizon, where the air still shimmers faintly. The path ahead calls, deeper into the heart of endless sleep. And in the distance, something waits. A city forgotten by time, dreaming beneath the dust. Beneath the shifting dunes, something ancient stirs. A rhythm beneath the silence. Morpheus feels it. A pulse, faint but steady, buried deep under layers of dream sand. He kneels, pressing his palm to the ground. The sand is warm, almost alive. It hums with memory. Then, with a whisper, the desert parts. The dunes sink away, revealing shadowed shapes below, an outline of towers, bridges, arches carved from glass and light, a city sleeping beneath eternity. Morpheus descends, each step sinking through the layers of lost time. The air thickens with the scent of forgotten rain and fading lullabies. He lands softly at the gates of the city beneath the dust. The gates stand half open, sculpted from obsidian dreamstone. Their surfaces reflect faces that are not his. Every reflection is a sleeper, eyes closed, forever suspended in their last dream. He walks through. The streets are quiet, lined with statues that breathe faintly. Each figure holds an object, a book, a cup, a lantern, relics of dreams they once lived. The sky above glows dim, a ceiling of glass showing shifting clouds of memory. He feels the pulse again, the heartbeat of the dream world itself, slow, steady, dying. In the distance, a fountain whispers. Its waters flow not with liquid, but with shimmering fragments of thought. He steps closer, peering into its depths. Within the ripples, he sees scenes from the mortal realm. A child dreaming of flight, a poet lost in silence, a city that forgot how to imagine. Each vision flickers, fades, and falls into dust. The fountain sighs, exhausted. Morpheus whispers, "You were once bright." The fountain answers with a low hum of grief. He moves deeper into the city. The walls are inscribed with words in shifting languages. They tell of dreamers who built this place, visionaries, artists, lovers. When they stopped dreaming, the city sank, drawn into the folds of endless sleep. Now it lies between reality and oblivion, waiting for someone to remember. He passes a grand hall where mirrors hang like stars. Each mirror holds a moving image, lives once imagined. He touches one. A burst of color floods the air, laughter, music, joy. Then it fades, leaving only silence and dust. He feels the loss like a crack in the fabric of night. Even gods can mourn. At the city's center stands a spire made of glass, reaching toward a sky that does not exist. It hums faintly, resonating with the rhythm beneath his heart. He knows this place. He shaped it long ago when humanity still dreamed freely. Now it is hollow, haunted by echoes, a monument to what was forgotten. As he gazes upward, faint light pulses at the top of the spire. Something still breathes there, faint, flickering, alive. Perhaps the woman's voice was right. Perhaps the dream still breathes. Morpheus begins to climb the spire, the air trembling with memory. Below him, the city sighs as if it remembers his name. The spire hums beneath his hand. A current of old dreams runs through its glass veins. Morpheus climbs higher, the air growing dense with whispers. Fragments of stories drift around him, laughter, sorrow, songs without endings. At the top, a doorway of light waits, pulsing softly, breathing in rhythm with the dream. He steps through and enters a vast chamber filled with floating scrolls of light. Each scroll unrolls itself in midair, revealing faces, words, and visions that fade like smoke. In the center sits a figure, robed in silver dust, eyes gleaming like moonlit glass. The being speaks without moving its lips. "You've come, Dreamkeeper." Its voice is a melody and a memory at once. "Do you remember me?" Morpheus bows slightly. "The archivist," he murmurs, "guardian of what remains." The archivist nods slowly. And so little remains. He gestures, and the room brightens, revealing endless shelves of sleeping lights. "These are the dreams that still breathe," he says, "the last fragments of hope." Morpheus walks among them, watching images shimmer across the air. A child building a castle of stars, an artist painting silence, a dream of peace that never came. "So many," Morpheus whispers, "and yet, so few." The archivist's gaze darkens. "The desert grows, Dreamkeeper. You feel it too." Morpheus nods. "The world forgets to dream. They sleep without wonder. They wake without purpose." The archivist extends a trembling hand toward the shelves. Each time a mortal abandons hope, one light dies. A faint flicker passes through the chamber. One of the glowing scrolls dims, then fades into nothing. The silence that follows is heavier than grief. Morpheus looks to the archivist. Can they be restored? Perhaps, the old being sighs, but only if they remember why they dreamed. He gestures toward a broken orb on a pedestal. Within it swirls a storm of faint color. "This is the heart of the dream," he says. "It once pulsed with the imagination of humankind. Now it barely flickers, like a dying ember." Morpheus steps closer, feeling its warmth, fragile, fleeting. "It's still alive." "Barely," the archivist replies. "The balance falters. The dream cannot sustain itself without purpose." The Dreamkeeper's voice is quiet. "Then I must find it again." The archivist studies him. "To do so, you must remember the first dream, the one that began it all." "The first dream?" Morpheus echoes. "Lost to time, buried beneath the sands." The archivist nods. "And guarded by what you left behind." Morpheus frowns. "What I left behind?" A low hum fills the chamber, the sound of awakening memory. The shelves begin to tremble, lights flicker, whispers swirl like wind. The archivist's voice fades into the chaos. "Beware the river, it remembers everything." Then the chamber dissolves into sand and shadow. Morpheus falls through the light, clutching the echo of the archivist's words. And far below, the sound of water begins to rise. The sound of water grows louder, impossible in a land of sand. Morpheus opens his eyes to find the desert trembling beneath him. A river winds through the dunes, dark, silent, glowing faintly with starlight. It flows without source or end, cutting through eternity itself. The river of forgotten nights, a stream made from dreams too painful to remember. Morpheus stands at its edge. The current whispers softly, calling his name. Each ripple carries fragments of voices, laughter turned to regret, hope turned to dust. He watches faces form in the water. Some he knows, others are lost to time. They look up, eyes filled with longing. "Do you still dream of us?" they ask. Morpheus feels their pull, the ache of their memories brushing against his soul. The archivist's warning echoes in his mind. "Beware the river, It remembers everything. He kneels and dips a hand into the current. It burns cold, sharp as remembrance. Visions flood his thoughts, worlds he once shaped, lives he once touched. Dreamers who prayed for beauty, for love, for another chance to begin again. Some he saved, many he lost. The river shows him a reflection of himself, fractured, blurred, fading at the edges. "Have I too forgotten?" he whispers. The water answers in silence. A bridge forms across the river, woven from light and shadow. It shimmers faintly, fragile as a heartbeat. Morpheus steps onto it. The moment his foot touches the bridge, the current rises. The river begins to sing, a low, haunting melody of dreams undone. Each note carries memory, a lullaby, a promise, a goodbye. He walks slowly, feeling the bridge tremble beneath him. Images swirl within the water, 1,000 faces of the sleeping world. They reach toward him, their hands made of light. "Morpheus," they whisper, "why did you leave us to the dark?" He stops, the question cutting through him. "I did not leave," he says softly. "You stopped dreaming." The current grows stronger, angered by truth. Waves of forgotten nights crash against the bridge, trying to pull him under. He stands firm, eyes glowing with quiet resolve. "I remember you," he says, voice deep as thunder. "Every one of you." The storm stills. The river slows, listening. For the first time, silence fills the valley. Beneath the calm surface, something glows, a path of light leading downstream. Morpheus follows it, the bridge dissolving behind him. The water beside him begins to clear. The faces fade into peace. He walks until the river narrows into mist, then ends in a pool of silver glass. Within it, a faint song plays, the same melody sung by the woman in the desert. Her voice guides him onward. The way forward lies beyond the mist. Morpheus steps into the silver pool, and the world around him dissolves into sound and memory. The mist curls around him like breath. The air hums with a distant song. Morpheus steps forward, his reflection shifting in the silver pool. The melody drifts through the haze, soft, sorrowful, hauntingly familiar. It is her voice again, the sleeper's song, the tune that bends the dunes. He follows the sound, each note a thread pulling him deeper into dream. The mist parts, revealing a vast plain of glass. Beneath it, colors swirl like trapped auroras. Every step sends ripples across the surface, waking faint memories below. The voice grows clearer. A woman stands in the distance, still singing. She glows faintly, as if her body is woven from moonlight and memory. Her song carries across the plain, fragile but unbroken. Morpheus listens. Each verse speaks of longing, of light once known, of warmth now lost. It is a song of awakening, of the desperate wish to return. He walks closer, his presence bending the air. The melody trembles. The woman turns. Her eyes remain closed, yet tears trace paths down her cheeks. "Morpheus," she whispers, "you heard me." Her voice is both joy and sorrow, echoing like wind through hollow stone. He nods. "You are the dream that refuses to fade." She smiles faintly. "I am what remains of those who remember." Her words hang in the air, shimmering with truth. Morpheus asks softly, "Why do you sing?" "To be heard," she answers, "to remind the world that sleep is not the end." Her song resumes, a low, resonant hum that fills the plain with light. Beneath the glass, the trapped colors stir, blooming into shapes, faces, hands, dreams reborn. Morpheus feels their pull, the yearning of millions to awaken. "They've forgotten you," he murmurs. "They've forgotten how to dream." She nods sadly. "But dreams never die. They only wait." He steps closer, his voice deepening. "You are the bridge between them and me." Her hand rises, trembling, made of dust and light. "Then take what I am," she says. He hesitates. "If I do, you will fade." She smiles again. "Then I will wake." Her song shifts, growing brighter, stronger, reaching for the sky. The air vibrates with power. The plain beneath them glows like dawn. Morpheus reaches out, taking her hand. Their fingers meet, and the world ignites. A wave of sound bursts outward, sweeping across the desert, through the city, across the dunes. Every sleeping voice stirs. Every forgotten dream flickers with light. The woman's form dissolves, her song still echoing through the air. "Morpheus," she whispers, fading. "The dream must choose to wake." The light fades slowly. The plane returns to silence. Morpheus stands alone once more, holding the last note of her song within his hand. He closes his eyes. The melody lingers, alive and waiting. Somewhere in the distance, the dawn begins to breathe. The air shifts, the calm breaks. A low rumble spreads through the horizon. Morpheus feels it first in his chest, a vibration older than sound. The dream trembles. The desert begins to move. The sands rise in spirals, spinning faster, forming a wall of light and shadow, a storm, not of wind or dust, but of memories. Every grain of sand carries a voice, a moment, a forgotten fragment of a dream. Morpheus braces himself as the storm surges around him. Faces flash through the chaos, children laughing, lovers weeping, artists painting skies. They swirl together, blurring into a storm of memory and longing. The air tastes of nostalgia, sharp and sweet. He hears whispers overlapping, desperate to be heard. "Morpheus, remember us. Don't let us fade. We dreamed of you." He raises his hand, summoning a barrier of light, but the memories pass through him. They pierce his heart, not with pain but with weight, the burden of every forgotten dream. He stumbles, kneeling in the sand that no longer feels solid. Around him, the storm grows taller than mountains. He knows he cannot fight it. This is not an enemy. This is remembrance itself. The storm howls, forming shapes, scenes from the past. He sees the birth of the first dream, bright and full of wonder. He sees humanity's fear of the dark, their need to escape into stories. He sees himself, the Dreamkeeper, offering them rest and beauty. Then he sees the forgetting, the slow decay, the silence that followed. The storm presses closer, whispering truths he long tried to ignore. "You left us when we stopped believing. You turned away. You forgot too." Morpheus opens his eyes, his voice deep and steady. "No, I never forgot. I waited." Lightning of memory strikes, illuminating faces in the sand, faces of the dreamers. They glow like stars, then shatter into sparks of gold. He stands, spreading his arms wide. "Enough," he says softly. The wind hesitates. The storm pauses, as if listening. "These memories do not bind me," he whispers. "They are why I remain." He steps forward, and the sand parts before him. Each step echoes with power, each breath reclaiming what was lost. The storm begins to calm, folding in on itself, becoming still. The memories settle, returning to the ground like falling snow. When silence returns, the desert glows faintly, no longer empty but alive with echoes. Every dune hums softly with remembered dreams. Morpheus lowers his head. "They are not gone," he murmurs. "They are waiting to be lived again." He looks toward the horizon, where a faint gate of light shimmers in the distance. Beyond it lies the edge of the dream, the place between night and dawn. The storm has given him what he needed: memory, strength, purpose. He walks forward, the sand whispering his name, carrying the calm after the storm. The horizon glows faintly, a thin line of silver between dream and dawn. Morpheus walks toward it, each step slower, heavier. The air hums with quiet tension, as if the dream itself is holding its breath. Ahead stands a great gate, vast, luminous, woven from twilight itself. It shimmers with colors that shift like thoughts, never the same twice. The door of twilight, the border between sleep and waking. Morpheus stops before it, his reflection caught in its surface. In that reflection, he sees both what he is and what he was. A god of dreams, born from human longing, a keeper of their stories, but also a being tired of eternity, burdened by silence. The gate whispers softly, like wind through glass. "Dreamkeeper," it says, "you have come to the threshold once more." Morpheus lowers his head. The world is fading. Dreams fall into dust. The gate pulses faintly. Such is the nature of mortals. They forget, and in forgetting, they rest. He looks up, his eyes glowing with starlight. Rest is not living. It is surrender. A pause. The gate shimmers brighter, its light rippling across the dunes. "And yet," it murmurs, "to wake them is to bring struggle, fear, loss. Morpheus closes his hands, feeling the echo of the sleeper's song still in his grasp. To sleep forever is not peace, he says quietly. It is the death of wonder. The silence deepens, stretching thin as breath. The gate speaks again. If you open me, you will lose what remains of the dream. If you turn away, they will never wake. Morpheus steps closer, his voice steady now. Then I will choose light. The gate trembles, its surface cracking like dawn breaking through the night. Fragments of color fall away, dissolving into air. Morpheus, it whispers, you cannot walk both worlds. He smiles faintly. No, but I can guide them from one to the other. The wind rises, swirling around him, carrying whispers of every dream he ever shaped. He feels their weight and warmth, laughter, fear, love, and loss. Every dream is a heartbeat, every heartbeat is life. He places his hand upon the gate, light spills from beneath his fingers. The dream shudders, trembling as though afraid. Morpheus whispers, wake gently, my dreamers. The dawn awaits. The gate bursts open, a storm of light flooding the desert. The dunes melt into rivers of gold. The stars fade into morning hues. Behind him, the city beneath the dust begins to rise, its towers gleaming once more. The sleeping faces carved in stone begin to stir, eyes fluttering open. And as the door of twilight dissolves, Morpheus steps through, between worlds, between breaths. The dream breaks like a wave, and light spills into the waking world. The light fades, leaving warmth in its wake. The desert is gone. The silence is softer now. Morpheus stands on the edge of the waking world. The sky glows pale gold, filled with drifting motes of dreamlight. Each one is a memory returning home, a whisper finding its voice again. He watches as they scatter, rising like seeds into the morning air. Far away, people begin to stir. A woman opens her eyes and remembers a forgotten melody. A child wakes and smiles at a dream he no longer fully recalls. An artist pauses before a blank canvas, her hand trembling with inspiration. Across the world, hearts beat a little faster. The line between dream and waking blurs, gentle as a breath. Morpheus closes his eyes and listens. He can still hear the hum of the dream beneath the world. It is faint now, but alive, a rhythm reborn. He kneels, touching the earth, feeling life pulse beneath his hand. This is what it means to return, he whispers. The voice of the wind answers softly. And what of you, Dreamkeeper? He lifts his head. I remain where I am needed. The world shimmers around him, bending between two realms. He can feel the pull of both, the peace of sleep, the fire of waking. He's no longer bound to either. He is their bridge. The echoes of the sleeper's song drift back to him, changed, brighter. Not a lullaby now, but a hymn to renewal. He rises, walking through fields of light and shadow. Each step leaves ripples of silver behind him, fading slowly into air. Dreams begin to take root again, fragile but real. In every heart that dares to imagine, his essence lingers. He smiles, faint and knowing. They will dream again. A bird passes overhead, wings scattering light. Its call is clear and high, carrying into the endless sky. Morpheus watches it go, feeling a quiet pride. He knows the dreamers will not remember his name. They will not recall his face, or the desert, or the storm. But they will wake with a spark, a whisper of wonder. And that is enough. The horizon glows again, soft and infinite. He turns toward it, his cloak of shadow trailing into gold. The dream calls to him one last time. He looks back only once to the world that is waking. Then he steps into the light, neither fading nor staying, only becoming. In that moment, the balance is restored. Dream and dawn, forever entwined. And somewhere, far beneath the waking sun, the desert hums softly, asleep but alive. The world is awake now, but traces of the dream still linger. Morning dew sparkles on every surface, catching the last shimmer of dreamlight. In quiet rooms and bustling streets, people move with a strange calm. They do not know why, but something in them feels lighter, as if a burden they never named has been lifted. A poet sits beside her window, her pen moving as if guided by unseen hands. Her words come in a rhythm older than memory, a whisper from the Dreamkeeper. She writes of silver sands, of stars that sing, of a god who walked in silence. Elsewhere, a child draws shapes in the dirt, spirals, eyes, gates of light. His mother smiles, not knowing he's sketching the path between worlds. The dream has not vanished. It has simply changed its form. It hides in music, in art, in sudden moments of wonder. Morpheus's essence hums within every spark of imagination. He has become a pulse in the world's heartbeat. And though unseen, he watches still, not as a god above, but as presence within. The desert of endless sleep has fallen quiet. Its sands shimmer faintly beneath the waking sun. Where once stood emptiness, now grows fragile green. Tiny sprouts of life, tender and new, push through the golden dust. The echo of the sleeper's song moves across the land like wind. It hums through the dunes, soft and steady, the sound of rebirth. High above, the stars fade, their work done. But one lingers, faint and blue, watching the horizon. A reminder that dreams never truly end, they only change form. In the heart of the desert, a single ripple glows. It forms a shape, a shadow kneeling, hands pressed to the sand. For an instant, the figure smiles, eyes bright with eternal calm. Then it dissolves, scattering into motes of light that drift toward the sky. Each mote finds a new home, in laughter, in love, in longing. Morpheus has become the dream itself, no longer bound by form, nor name, nor time. He is the whisper that guides a painter's hand, the spark that starts a melody, the vision that visits a weary soul just before dawn. In every dream dreamt from this day forward, he breathes quietly, not ruling, not watching, simply being. The world turns, morning deepens, life continues, and in that rhythm, dream and reality pulse together, eternal and whole. The desert sleeps, but never truly rests, for in every grain of sand, a story waits to be told, and when night falls again, when eyes grow heavy and hearts seek peace, the voice of Morpheus will rise once more, gentle as twilight. Sleep, it will whisper. Dream and remember, you are never alone.